but I expect him to really deliver on Nuke. Now, this is the map pick from GODSENT, so Extra Salt opting to start on the CT side. No surprises there. The one thing I do want to touch upon is, for the side of Extra Salt, why I really like watching them and why I have picked them as my favorites to win a tournament is the mental resilience they have. When things don't go their way, I don't see the mental capitulation that I see from a certain other NA team. So, but I'll get back to the point later on, because it's going to be a very quick hit coming in towards an upper site where Extra Salt have opted to go for the retake. The tables are turned, Vince. Last time it was Extra Salt getting the bomb down and GODSENT with a very nice, clean retake, but I don't think Mark is expecting the player boosted up.
No, this is looking like it's going to catch them completely off guard, and Bartin around the corner can only muster up one, but does spot both players. That's valuable intel relayed to the rest of his teammates. A bit of a scrappy engagement where Taco only gets the one frag, and now Phelps and Dual both pivot in, and Phelps removes the head of JT. GODSENT withstand the aggression, but that position up on Heaven was so massive.
Yeah, and I feel like even though he was able to get the just to one kill, Vince, it kind of rattled them a little bit, I'm quite sure. And also JT, though, nice attempt from him to get 2 kills. The first one is a little bit of a belabored effort, but he was able to get a very snappy shot. But in the end, as you pointed out, Phelps just shining with 2 quick shots. And that is going to be GODSENT off to get another solid start here. This time, of course, it is their map pick where they're going to be feeling pretty comfortable. Lato going to be leading the charge with the MAC-10, but it is going to be JT and Sonic with the MP9s of their own. We're going to be dealing quite a lot of damage, and Nade's going to find Barton, and this ramp hit has been completely neutralized by the force buy of Extra Salt. Oh, I'm getting PTSD, Vince, and it's not even been that long.
Yeah, definitely flashbacks to the start of Ancient here, isn't it? Obviously, GODSENT started to spread their wings first, and I flew off into the distance. Damao looking for a bit of action here. May very well get his dreams come true if Fang decides to wide peek out towards Hut, but there's no real reason right now. Like, there's more than a minute to play with. You've already got a massive W in how this round is started off. You know there's a bunch of AKs and weaponry littered all over the map. No need to overextend and potentially give your life away. I think Fang is playing this really well. The timing just works against him. He was caught in transition. At least now, though, he can relay that to the rest of his teammates. That Dumao will be moving towards the ramp. Good and well-placed smoke. Keeps Dumao at arm's reach. He does have time, though. He doesn't necessarily have to force himself through. Now, he may be thinking, right, this round is unlikely to be won. So how much damage can I do to their economy on my way out? How many of these weapons can I make sure that I deny? Scout watching the cross, and that's more like it. That's what you want to see from OC. Rapid headshots with the Scout, with the AWP in the future, perhaps. An Extra Salt instantly bounce back.
That was a bit of a lackadaisical take towards that ramp area from GODSENT, in all honesty, right? I didn't see much flashbangs coming out. I don't even think there was a flashbang. I think the flashbang deep for ramp, nothing for up close. It comes just jumping out, expecting Extra Salt to maybe, or rather not expecting them to have those SMGs and playing up close. Now, one would have thought they would have learned a lesson from the previous map, but, well, they do get punished for it. And as you pointed out, Vince, not able to quite get more damage dealt was Damao. And now it's going to be a bit of a straggled hit towards the upper side. And the player on top of Hot Sonic is doing a good job keeping them at bay. One member remains, and it's going to be Barton. Is going to try and leg it towards the lower bomb so that at least punch in the numbers. And he gets the bomb down. That's all he needed to do. But the fact that it was a forced buy, Vince, means it's not going to be a buy coming in for the side of GODSENT in round number 4. In fact, I do expect to see a few pistols coming out, maybe a couple of P250s, maybe a Deagle perhaps. But that should be the opportunity for Extra Salt to get a clean round number 3. Did it lose just to one man this round? And I wouldn't be too surprised if Fang opts to go for an SMG buy here to, you know, maybe build up a little bit of an economy, get some little bit of extra cash, and potentially, you know, have that little bit of a buffer to work with. But no, it's going to be the rifles. I guess they're resuming a force from GODSENT. But yeah, I'm not gonna be harping too much on this. Like, even if it's just a rifle, sure, you're not gonna get SMG bonus money, but they're just gonna be, I think they're thinking, planning ahead, right? Thinking for round number 5 when the buy, in fact, will be coming in for the side of GODSENT. Right now, the mission is don't lose any players.
Yeah, it seems like more of a bigger picture situation, right? Fang, this is really awkward. Finally gets his man, although it's actually OC that takes that away from him. He's like, cheers, mate, because I lost a lot of HP there. And that should never really have got particularly close. We know how deadly these Deagles have been from GODSENT. We've seen it time after time. Kind of just the Deagle highlight reel was ancient. And now that things have started to slow down pace, they get the first pick. This is where you're expecting Extra Salt to just nail this one in. But Dumao has other thoughts. His Deagle once again strikes gold, and that gives him access to heaven. This will be concerning for Extra Salt.
Problematic. And look at the pace he's set as well. Now, there is a player waiting for him. That is JT. And oh, that's a huge find. That is a huge kill because Dumao survives. And just the fact that he stays alive towards Heaven's Vince, that's a big problem, even if he doesn't face. But with that, there's one element of danger taken out of the equation. Sonic's been tagged down, Fang on 37, JT on 57. Just a body tag could be enough to take down these players, but Fang, it's all about timing. You'd expect the second player, they don't, but this could be a free bomb plant. That's a big win already if they do manage to do so, and they will indeed. Now suddenly it turns into a post plant, Vince. It's already a big win for GODSENT, but they can deal more damage, can get a couple of kills, and if Extra Salt are not careful, they could potentially get ecoed here.
This incendiary that Fang has, I think, is going to be so vital. If he can toss this to the back of the slide, that should be a death. Coming towards Lato, it actually is just the headshot anyway onto Taco, so he's gone down. That incendiary no longer as important. Still has it though, Fang. He can cordon off one of these areas, but look at the timer as well. That fuse is getting dangerously low. They're still not sticking onto this one right now. Lato can pinch it in, and he does take down the frag, so there should be enough time. They actually trade out the defusal, coming very close, but with just milliseconds to spare, Extra Salt get it done. However, in the grand scheme of the round, Blair, that is a big W for GODSENT. You get multiple casualties and a bomb plant and effectively just a Deagle round.
Oh, that's a W and a half. That is, I want to say triple U, but I'm not gonna, because I feel like you just might reach out to the marker and hit me for that, Vince. But yeah, that's a massive, massive win for GODSENT. I was saying like Extra Salt shouldn't be winning that round or losing any players. In fact, they lose a couple. Comes down to the wire. They also allow the bomb plant to come through. So yeah, they win the round, but do they? That's the question. OC does, of course, have that AWP, and that is what I guess all of us have been waiting for. He was extremely, extremely tepid in that first map of Ancient. That being said, we're starting on the T side. It's not exactly a map where, you know, the T side off is particularly super effective, but CD side Nuke, we've seen primary operas do some magical things. Obviously, Simple comes to mind, although he is, of course, a freak of nature. But we've seen other operas as well just come alive on this CD side, being proactive, shutting down the ramp area, trying to push towards secret, controlling towards outside the outside yard, the garage area as well. So there's a lot of work he can do. Right now, though, if this upper hit is coming in, he is going to be isolated. But no, they're going to be dropping on down, straight on in, and they could potentially be walking into his crosshairs. That's a nice click on the ladder, but he's tagged down and taking so much damage to the flames. And Dumao finds Marky. So it is a 4v4, Vince, but Dumao staying alive. Oh, 3 kills from Dumao. That is magnificent. And the round is done. There's no way Fang's going in for this retake. In fact, he's going to find himself dead in ramp. What a round from Phelps and Dumao, but Vince, he had no business getting the second and third kill.
No, that's some really beautiful play, but I also don't want to understate how cool that tactic was. They rushed 2 players down secret through the smoke patiently, and in the meanwhile, Vent dove 2 other players. So they already had 2 players on B site who were pushing up towards the ramp. And if OC wasn't as just fast flick-wise and reaction speed as he actually is, that could have been no casualties. That could have been a clean sweep round. So it completely caught them off guard. All they saw from their perspective was 2 players vent dive. They didn't even realize there were suddenly 4 players. Both Phelps and Taco made their pro debut together for Brazil versus Colombia. Just goes to show how far back this teamwork goes.
Some of the players on the Brazilian teams, like not just over here in GODSENT, like they go way back, right? Like players like Fur, you have players like FNX, for example. Man, I saw him in 2006. Most of the people watching this game probably were still in kindergarten when he made his pro debut alongside the likes of Kogu from Brazil. So a lot of history in South American Counter-Strike, but right now, Fang Vince, he's been 0-4, but he's going to finally open his account. 2 great frags on the Lato and Phelps. The trade does take place, but at least it's ensured that his team does have the player advantage. We do have Marky pushing up close an MP9. Positioning is everything here. If he gets the right angle, oh, what? What was that from Barton?
An outrageous shot. He had no right to win that because initially he was going to check that angle. That's a pure flick. That's just pure reaction speed. And yes, the MP9 should always come out second best against the AK, but you expect that that was going to be a frag for Marky. I don't even think he did that much wrong. He just got splattered instantly. And now, instantly GODSENT decide, listen, we're not actually going to hit B. We're anticipating over rotations. Barton can watch the vents. We're going back up towards A main. We're going to try and actually push this in towards A. It seems like Sonic has the right idea, and OC's also rotating through via ramp. This comes down to timing. This hot position is so massively vital for Extra Salt.
They've announced their presence, Vince. Now, are they going to be aware? Once this door swings open, Sonic can easily get a free kill, but if he doesn't find the frag immediately, that's his position going to compromise. Barton now aware. There was a window of opportunity, but OC's going to find Barton with the AWP. That's a low player, though, and Sonic's position is known as well. OC taken down. Sonic's going to fall. They know where the final player is. JT comes charging out with the deagle. He finds one, but Taco repositions, and he clutches it out. GODSENT find 3, but Vince, my mind is still on that flick from Barton. That was a slap.
Here it is. Bang. And that's what I mean. Marky didn't really do anything wrong. How could you fault him for Barton just pulling off that shot? Even in slow motion, that was ridiculously fast. How do you play against a player of this caliber performing to this level?
He's not even thinking, right? It's just pure reaction to the fact that, oh, someone's shooting at me on my left-hand side. I'm just like his body. That's his body reacting. He's not even thinking. It's just pure, just reflexes. And Barton, man, he was a beast on Ancient alongside Phelps and Demau, and if this is the form he's going to be showing here as well. Although he only has 2 kills, those are some very, very impressive frags. For Extra Assault, it's going to be the pistol spins. It's a full eco, something which has been a rarity so far in this game. 4 USPs and the P2K, and yeah. Extra Assault, they had a solid start, but GODSENT, it's not just about the tactics or whatnot. It hasn't been anything too elaborate coming out from GODSENT. It's just been some nice, decent defaults and then some faster plays, like a lower hit you spoke about earlier. But it's just the individuals just popping off here and making it look so good. Okay, Marky and OC, 2 kills with the USPs. They can retrieve this AKs, which is looking unlikely because it's out in the open. But if they manage to do so, there is a possibility that this round could be a little bit more expensive than what GODSENT would have wanted. Barton from Heavens. He knows where OC is, but OC is not providing him any vision as to where he is right now.
Yeah, and because of that Molotov, they know he's locked into this position, but he still gets a kill with the USP. Taco goes down, and he just landed a dink on Barton, who drops to 34. Full USPs. Pretty much no investment in this round, and it's a 2-on-2 with 2 weakened Ts. That was a bit of a labored spray. Would have been clenching down on the mouse hard there, and Marky takes them both down! The USPs reign supreme!
Holy hell. Holy hell. How have they lost that one, Vince? Every time they're just spreading like a lunatic, trying to get the bomb down, but every time I say something good about a team, Vince, they wind up losing the pistols. It's like some extra next level of the Caster's Curse, it feels like. That is ludicrous. There was 0 investment from Extra Assault. 0. Not $1 spent on any purchase whatsoever against a full buy from GODSENT with the rifles and the AWPs, and they just capitulate. It was a 1v2 against USP in the end as well. Like, that is just ridiculous. You should not be losing rounds like that. And if they ever needed some sort of, I don't know, some sort of like a boost to their confidence, Vince, that has to be the round.
Yeah, that has to be the moment of inspiration that really rallies the troops. There's no doubt at all. And we said it hadn't really got out of second gear. Now we're starting to see some of those heavy hitters really show up. Bomb in an awkward position as well. Barton needs to run across here and pick this one up. And his two teammates are on A side. However, Vents is clear. He's making a lot of noise. They're not trying to be stealthy. They're not trying to play incognito. They're putting the flag down on the A site and say, come get us. This now belongs to us. Taco on a fact-finding mission.
Oh, boy.
Gonna try and get round the back, deal with some of these flanking players as they rotate back in towards Hell. This is a really good position, but does he anticipate the extra player here? And the spray lets him down. Dumao now in an awkward position with his Galil, and he will go down next. Barton 1-on-4, 2 weakened targets. But as soon as he picks up this frag, they're going to know exactly where he is. Flash to pop off the wall. Damage being inflicted from gravity to Sonic. And not much time left on the clock, but OC drills into Barton, takes him down. An extra salt will reap success again. But Taco's spray let him down so much on ramp. That could have been the round-winning moment.
I am so sure Taco heard him run up the ramp. Like, he heard the first three, and it's like, okay, time for me to walk on out. But he definitely heard the final player running up as well. And he wasn't ready for it, Vince. If he gets that one kill, this could easily have gone the way of GODSENT. Like, he gets the kill, it was a 1v1, he stays alive towards ramp. Now that retake is delayed further, and it could go back towards Hut to help out Barton. And Barton did his best. It was a 1 versus 4. He finds 2 kills in a very, well, nigh unwinnable situation. It is going to be the force fight coming in for the side of GODSENT. However, this round, they do deal quite a lot of damage. Look at how low 3 of the players are. But Taco is left alone in a 1 versus 5. And despite a couple of them being, 3 of them rather, being extremely low on health, I don't really fancy Taco's chances. And JT will seal the deal. A clean round from Extra Salt. And it all came off that full USP round, Vince. Some of them have been scrappy, but as long as they're stringing rounds together, they're going to be very happy. Because go back to Ancient, they were not able to string 2 rounds together.
What a difference that USP P250 round made, honestly. Everything was looking like it was starting to fall in place for GODSENT. They slip on that big banana peel, 6-3 behind. Economy now starting to stabilize on Extra Salt. This should be a gimme round. Yes, there's the Eagles in play. And yes, we have a lot of heavy hitters over on GODSENT, but it does feel like momentum is starting to get behind Extra Salt, pardon me, a little bit more. OC, 8 frags and 88 ADR. Very little impact on Ancient, but the complete reverse here on Nuke. Not far off. Landing the frag. He hit Barton with that flick. Down to 18. That's an outrageous shot. They deserve the kill, honestly. But now Fang is going to try and clean them up. Marky also has the Overwatch with the M4. Need to tread lightly against the Eagles, though. He knows this could quickly start to funnel back in favor of GODSENT. Fang double spray down. Picks up a 3rd in the round, albeit on 2 HP. And it seems like Extra Salt should be dialing in another comfortable round here and building up their bank balance, but also their round amount additionally. Phelps and Barton both tagged out. Good grenade. And Barton, 7 HP, separating him and his demise. And it's another grenade banked off the wall. The trick shots do connect. 7-3 lead for Extra Salt.
And more importantly, Vince, the past couple of rounds have been solid because they haven't lost many members. Money is starting to stabilize and starting to look quite flush as well in a majority of the players. You take a look at Fang and Sonic, just sub $6,000. JT and Marky, just over 6K, and OC and 5,000 with the AWP in his hands. This is after they replenish their utility as well. So money-wise, looking good. They're starting to solidify as well, stringing 4 rounds together, 7 and 3 here. This map pick, bear in mind, it's from GODSENT. Extra Salt, they need to win in their opponent's map pick to manage to tie things up, but Phelps finds Fang. That is big. JT tucked into the corner. No trigger discipline. He's not going to be waiting to try and be sneaky or cheeky. He's just going to immediately put Phelps into the ground. He knows where another player is. It's a great flashbang, but Dumao spotted out, and JT with a nice little spray enabled by the flashbang from OC. And with 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock, GODSENT are just down to 2 members. Taco and Barton have a lot of work to do.
Make that just Barton. Has time. That's pretty much all he has going in his favor. Let's have control over the bomb. But these are silver linings over a very dark cloud that's looming overhead at this point. May get the luxury of pushing into ramp relatively uncontested. But it's really, what can he do with that information and that position? Probably not much. OC, to make matters worse for Bartin, does have the cover crossed with the AWP should he go in for a peek towards Hell. So it's looking like his days are numbered. This would have to be a phenomenal shot if he does face against OC. They may have just crossed each other. He spots him. OC's not going to see this. Martin could take the head, but misses his chance. And OC will pummel him down. 8-3.
He had the right eye peek, Vince. He was also further away from the wall as well. Everything was going the way of Barton, but yeah, just a missed shot. And unfortunately, OC doesn't really miss those. Nice work from JT, though, towards outside, getting the first kill, just looking inside of the smoke. And for GODSENT, this kind of like... I'm not really seeing too much of a plan here the past few rounds, but they're just not really going for any execute, nor are they working together in tandem, right? It's like individuals just going out, looking for fights, trying to just creep on through, which is not something, which is not an approach I'm a big fan of on this map. OC spots the first play, but doesn't take a shot. He drops on down, finds Taco, and they've got JT as well to back him up. And OC, the second one's not going to really find its mark, but with JT getting forced back by the Molotov, that should be OC playing a much more safer angle here. But the Molotov from the CT forcing them to push on in, and Barton's trying to find JT. JT's kind of alone. He doesn't want to take this fight. If he gets taken down, that AK could be retrieved, but OC's isolated. They do have Marky right next to him, and OC is going to make contact, Vince.
Oh, that's also the Molotov that just went down. Additionally, with Bartin, good shot from Lato, but there is Marky. A fast rotation. He was isolated, but they called this, and the cavalry has now arrived. Big frag from Phelps keeps them in this round by a thread, which now needs to withstand the weight of 3 players pushing in post-plant. JT up close, has a shot, snatches at it, takes the head of Phelps, but now Lato counteracts in kind. It will not be enough to yield the round, at least a little bit of damage, but we're getting to that point now where Extra Salt have enough funds to buy for another couple rounds, even if it goes pear-shaped. They may very well have the economy for the rest of this half. One thing to keep in account, though, Blair, the last time these two teams played each other on Nuke, which was earlier this month, it actually did go 16-4 in favor to GODSENT, which obviously not going to be happening anytime soon. But their CT side, they only lost 3 rounds, and they still have their CT side to come. It's just whether they give themselves enough to play with yet. That's really the question that's in my mind.
Absolutely. Just a couple more rounds here, right? That could be what GODSENT do need. There was one op kill in Ancient from Taco on OC. That's so weird. That is kind of strange. Like, we do see the meta is obviously ever evolving on Ancient, but I have seen like double up setup come into play multiple times, especially towards that B side. But the fact that the action was taking place, it looked like exclusively towards that A side. So sorry, towards the B side, meant, you know, not many sightlines of the op available perhaps. But that's an interesting stat, honestly speaking. And the fact that OC didn't even get a single kill with the AWP, that's kind of nuts, especially in a map that they picked. Speaking of AWP and getting kills, OC is delivering in spades over here on Nuke, however. For GODSENT, though, they have 3 opportunities left to try and at least maybe get to 4 or 5 rounds from which they can potentially try and mount a comeback on the CT side. Obviously, if you're GODSENT, Vince, you've done the hard work of winning on your opponent's map pick. You don't want to let this one slip away, right? You want to get the 2-0 lead.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, the other thing as well, I don't think they'll be beating themselves up too much, knowing it's a best of 5. You are always going to play, you know, maps that the other team is very comfortable with, and we know that Extra Salt have a solid Nuke. Good start in this engagement, but OC instantly comes straight back with that AWP. We said he had to have a big game, and so far he has delivered. Big headshot though, as Sonic gets double peak. A lot of damage was inflicted, and now maybe Marky can clean up the rest, as the Mexican gives them a grenade as a parting gift, but it barely scratches the surface. It will deny the bomb plant at the very least, as Lato punches in the digits. And a post plant falls upon us in a 2-on-2 on the A side of the map. Dumao looking to try and push into Squeaky, but the big moment in this round is Lato passing a bullet between the eyes of OC, and that puts Marky in a horrible angle. He was last spotted in heaven, gets spotted once again. And it looks like almost an unlosable position here, considering just how much utility they have, considering where the bomb is planted. Marky never really stood a chance. It was a valiant attempt, but GODSENT finally seemed to break the curse and get another T round on the board.
It took a look like forever, and this is despite the frags coming in from the side of OC. Huge run from Lato, though. He's had a comparatively a very quiet T side thus far, Barton as well, but huge round there. And also the fact that both of them peeked in through Squeaky and Hut towards OC. So even if OC gets a kill there, the trade would have been immediate. So great work from GODSENT, not just sitting on the bomb site waiting for the retake to take place. Instead, they took matters into their own hands, being proactive, isolating the fight, and having the numbers advantage in every duel they took. The double op setup is going to be coming out for the start of Extra Salt. As you pointed out, Vince, they did have oodles of money to work with, but the fact that a couple of rounds they won, they did lose a number of players, and in the previous one they lost all of them, means if they do lose this, I isn't going to be exactly spectacular heading into the final round. And Phelps just comes walking, running straight through the smoke, and he finds two.
But counteracted instantly. However, now the domino's being put in place again as Lato explodes into the round with multiple entry frags. Sonic, though, with that secondary AWP, is putting it to use. Narrowly misses out and the shot gets punished. And although a couple players will be low on a purchase, they can at least scrape together some assault rifles. So it certainly could be worse, but it could also be a whole lot better. And it seems like maybe GODSENT are about to salvage this half after all. It was 6 rounds in a row, most of them being rifle rounds. It just seemed that Extra Salt had a fortress on their CT side. And maybe there's a couple of gaps, a couple of secret doors that GODSENT are beginning to unlock.
They cannot afford to let this round go. I know I know they have a couple of guns, but if you look at the utility, there's not a single incendiary for the CTs to prevent a fast play from taking place. They did have one which have expended already, so a mid-round execute coming in from GODSENT, if they can try and force Extra Salt to use the smokes to have available, just poke and prod, draw the utility, they can just go for a clean execute. Look at the amount of utility they have. 5 Molotovs, and an upper bomb site hit would be perfect for them. And especially after having lost that round against USP's Vince. Like, if you lose a round like that, you need to make up for it. And these are the rounds which allow you to do so. We did say 4 to 5 rounds, maybe something they can work with. If they can get a 6, considering how grim it looked at one point in time for the side of GODSENT, they're going to be pretty happy with this. Minute on the clock. GODSENT haven't done anything much yet. They have no eyes towards outside. Fortunately for them, there's not going to be any of the CTs poking and prodding and trying to, go for an aggressive flank. Instead, they're going to have 3 players turtle up towards upper side. We have 2 on towards ramp. It is going to be OC and JT. OC gets the first tag. Are they going to check the position of JT is the question. He's perched on top of the boxes, and OC... Actually, it's going to be JT gets taken down, and OC, is he going to be checked? No, he's not, Vince. Trigger discipline of a god. He's got to find one. Doesn't get the second, but he gets the dink. But information has been conveyed to his teammates that the play is going to be taking place towards ramp.
Oh, you could see his reaction. He was so disappointed. He knew he nearly won the round off that play. With 2 softened targets, though, this certainly is not out of the realms of possibility. One comes down. The finished off frag onto Phelps, who was trying to force the bomb into position. They're going to go for it again. Spray through the smoke, nearly yields more frags. Lato somehow dodges by the bullets and stays alive to tell the tale, and then returns fire for one of his own. I have no idea how he's managed to pull that one off. But Marquis, looking to try and fake vents, won't really be doing anything to GODSENT's positioning. He's going to have to go nuclear if he's going to clutch this round. He's been such a powerhouse player on this CT side. But is this a bridge too far? He's looking to try and construct a masterful clutch, but he gets winged from Lato in the head. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys, to finish off this half. Stay tuned.
Driving down the boulevard, I see you. Looking, thinking, could it be you? Shopping sprees all on my car. If you let me, I would give it all to you. Coasting, open, hoping for more. Dreaming, thinking what I have is yours. Realize, recognize 100 times I've cried. Top down, music. music loud as we cruise at 85. Wondering is this a dream or real life? A fantasy is what this feel like. 10 toes down for my baby. This life be driving me crazy. Your friends talk down, it don't faze me. Leaving you alone, well that ain't me. Driving down the boulevard, I see you. Looking, thinking, could it be you? Shopping sprees all on my card. If you let me, I would give it all to you. Driving down the boulevard, I see you. Looking, thinking, could it be you? Shopping sprees all on my card. If you let me, I would give it all to you.
No matter situation, all for one for all. There is no hesitation. All for one for all. This is what we tell the haters. All for one for all. This is what dreams are made of. All for one for all. Standing on my left and my right, those I can depend on, we tight. So all you foes jumping into our life, we're here to defend through the night. Go hard with my road dogs. Anywhere we go far. Push limits and we push boundaries. When I'm here, there's no way around me. It's deeper than a friendship, family, like kinship. And we got a strong bond. Get close to it.
Our first half had it all. We had USP wins, we had clutches, a whole ton of big moments from the likes of Barton, who still is a little bit underwhelming in this particular map, but it is 9-6, and GODSENT managed to somewhat salvage the half. But we were talking before about their defense on this map is typically really solid. Feels like Extra Salt need to get this pistol.
You could say the same for, I feel, for GODSENT as well, right? Like, they are still trailing by 3 rounds. And if they get this pistol, Vince, anyone's game. In fact, I'm going to start favoring GODSENT because they're going to be, as long as you play their anti-ecos right and they don't lose to blocks, they're going to be fine. Oh, Phelps. Oh, Phelps. Oh, Phelps. That is, oh, that's grim. Fang had all the time in the world to spin around to get the kill. And JD's found Dumao as well. You're talking about this pistol round's important, Vince. It is indeed, but it's looks like it's going to whip Extra Salt.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic from Phelps, isn't it? Not really what you expect to see from him. And with everybody else being put in their place,
This is done.
it does feel like this is over. They do have a kit at least. Sonic locking down the position. Every single Extra Salt player will live to tell the tale. And GODSENT concede the second pistol. But Phelps is going to just be so disappointed that he couldn't get that done.
That was just his for the taking, Vince. A easy double kill, perhaps, but take nothing away from Extra Salt. That was an interesting ploy, just walking in from through mini, of course, helped out by the fact that Phelps did with some sitters there. He did have an incredible map and Ancient, so I guess it's just things equalizing out. The force buy for the side of GODSENT, T equals out. Barton with the Mag 7. Where is he playing this from? He's playing this towards where is he? Yeah, this can work. Although I personally would like the auto shot events, but what do I know?
Yeah, they could both definitely pack a punch at that kind of a range. Dumao does trade back. Bomb down. Dumao can't rinse the repeat, and he's put that Mag 7 to use. Barton from the hut gets both of them, but unfortunately, he's going to go down. Did Phelps just let JT pass there? Maybe trying to get the drop on him. And he does a lot of damage down to 2. JT will fall, but he does survive. 11-6.
I love that pincer. I love how Barton's like, oh, my teammate needs help. I'm just going to come running on in. What was the range of that shot on Sonic? And it wasn't like he wasn't even aiming at it. It's just like a casual flick of the Max 7, and he was so confident it was going to be a one-shot kill. And well, there you go. That's why he went for the Max 7. And I have no idea what I'm talking about with the, with the auto shotty and whatnot. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. We do, of course, have the eco for the side of GODSENT, a deagle, and a P2, just a deagle for Barton, and a smoke. But extra assault Vince, they have managed to kind of, at least for the time being, keep danger at bay. And they do have this 4-round lead. If they can survive this round, which should, as long as they play their cards right, which should go their way, they're going to be double the rounds GODSENT have. And then it's about just taking it one round at a time, stringing 4 together, getting 4 rounds in total, getting that 16 magic number, and heading into map number 3, everything getting tied up. For GODSENT, as you pointed out, the CD side is fantastic. So I don't think they're going to be too worried either. And they're going to be thanking the lucky stars. They were able to string this last 3 rounds together at the very end of the first half, because that gives them a little bit of breathing space, right? See, they lost the pistol round here, and they're probably going to be losing these this round, and they lost anti-eco, the anti-force fire as well. If they hadn't won the final 2 or 3 rounds in the first half, this would have been 14-3. And extra assault would have pretty much been a guaranteed the win.
Yeah, this is the importance of stopping that 6-round spree that we saw extra assault go on to, which really was facilitated by that USP victory. So yeah, I agree. I don't think the alarm bells will be beginning to ring just yet, but it does put a lot more pressure on this next rifle round. Because if they can see that next rifle round, we're talking about that 14-round territory, and then you can pretty much go back to what Blair was just talking about. So this round for me is so incredibly important. I'm curious if they throw in a tactical timeout, because surely they understand the importance of this as well. They're going to have everything they could possibly want. Hell, they could even go for double ops if they want to. They have that kind of an economy. Everything is laid ahead of them. What decisions do they make? Let's find out.
Taco with the op. Okay, there we go. Dumao with the op as well. Because I've seen Dumao with the AWP, especially towards the secret area events, and he is fantastic with that gun. Just being so unpredictable, opening things up towards outside, and just playing towards the secret area. And Taco is going to be kind of the lone sole defender towards ramp. And in all honesty, look, I like Taco, but he does tend to struggle at times. Yesterday, he really did struggle in the ramp area. So that is something that extra assault could try and use to their advantage. But Taco is going to be very calm and is going to find OC. Are the CDs aware that JD has dropped down towards defense?
I think Demao is going to actually peek at me. Oh, still gets taken down though. At least they have the information, but that's an AWP that now trades hands. Taco with his 2nd frag of the round and the 3rd as well. 2 no scopes and then for another one. He's heard everyone doubting him and he says, how about this? A 4K and pretty much single-handedly takes the round away. What a beautiful hold by Taco.
I'm going to shut my mouth now, Taco. I apologize. Stop doing to them like that. What was that, Vince? Look at this. Sees 2 crossbar. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to go for any crazy flick. 2 no scopes. And that is extra assault, not giving that much of respect to Taco. And Taco, well, he teaches them some respect there. 4K. I thought he'd probably get the ace there in the end. Oh boy, using that AWP like a shotgun. Unfortunately, they're not able to retrieve the op of Dumao's, and Taco's like, you know what, it's fine. I got a 4K with the op, now your turn, Dumao. And he instead is going to be wielding the MP9. So by wise, it is still going to be favoring extra assault because they had built up that pretty solid economy. And JT going to be leading the charge, Vince, just clearing out all the close angles. And Phelps, can he find one? No, but they've heard all the commotion. Dumao's at least spotted a couple of players crossing and over, so they know at least 2 or 3 players are going to be heading straight towards the lower side. And Lato was caught in a very, very rough spot indeed.
Yeah, all those bodies that were rushing down into secret. They start to be an issue here, especially as Barton's been dealt with alongside Dumao. Now, Taco has the element of surprise. They're not sure of his position. Now they've spotted him, though. They've cleaned out the angles. And even though Phelps gets death from above, it's at the cost of a lot of his HP. And really, his options are very limited. He'll be thinking about saving this AK. The Kevlar and flash alongside it. But just when GODSENT post up a round in a rifle, with Taco dropping a 4K and just a sublime ramp hold, Instantly back to the drawing board, and Extra Salt gets success. This is going to play hell with the economy of GODSENT. And Extra Salt are in such a commanding position right now, Blair. It feels to me that GODSENT are going to have to step things up drastically if they want to make this map even close.
What I really liked there from Extra Salt was the pace, right? Like, they were slowly creeping up towards outside using the smoke. The moment they knew the jig was up, they didn't waste any time. And the pace they set there, Lato was just caught in no man's land. He was inside the vents, and he had no escape route. He just had to tuck inside the little corner inside of the vents, and instead he opted to take the fight. 2 players face him, and just a blitzkrieg take towards the lower side, and great protocols as well. They knew what angles to cover when they were coming out with utility usage, and despite the fact that GODSENT knew what the play was, there was nothing they could do about it. It's like, it's just unfortunate. Just Extra Salt with a clinical T-side that round. And yeah, for GODSENT 13-7 Vince, they will go for the eco, which is definitely the right call. That's gonna allow Extra Salt to potentially get to round number 14, because anything can happen, as we've seen so far in this game. And once they do so, GODSENT's going to have the buy. But once that happens, that's the point of no return. That's where if you make a mistake, if you fumble, map's done. It's going to be Extra Salt tying things up. Barton's going to be pushing in a little deep. Fang won't be expecting this. He won't be expecting this. But Barton, the body tag's not good enough to get the kill, and Lato runs out of bullets. And it's going to be a bit of a contact play coming in by Extra Salt towards the upper side, which is kind of curious, but they swarm it perfectly in tandem. Despite the rifle being saved, it really comes to no use. Demao with the scout is going to fade away towards the CD spawn, try and hold on to it. But Extra Salt are looking good. They just seem completely different from what we saw on them on Ancient Vince. It's so strange that, you know, it's their opponent's map pick, and they just look just so clinical on this T-side, apart from a couple of hiccups here and there. And you go back to Ancient, and honestly, they look like headless chickens in the latter half of that game.
Yeah, they did. And, you know, ultimately, you can put all the tactics and the strategies down. You can have really well-versed and a well-oiled machine. But if you're not hitting your shots, if you're not showing up and actually getting out of second gear, as we talked about before, a lot of that is just going to be for nothing. Now we're seeing Extra Salt actually reach the levels that we expected to see from them from the get-go. They're defending multiple champions for a reason. We're seeing Sonic, Marquis, OC, all these players. Fang hasn't really been required. The rest of them are 15-plus frags. That's an outrageous kill dispersal. Like, there is no weak links, no weak chains in this Extra Salt team. The complete opposite could be said on Ancient. Everyone was mediocre. Nobody had a performance to make us stand up and think, right, this is something we can get behind. Now we're seeing what Extra Salt really have in store, but that grenade damage early on is seriously detrimental to pushing down into Secret. There's so many weakened targets, and now Demao can try and go to town with a triple spray, but only gets 2. 3-play-3, but the T's will have the disadvantage, but they still have OC alive, who takes off the head of Lato, and suddenly GODSENT in familiar territory, playing from a player behind.
Let's push him Barton, though. This could be everything. Now, it's all about timing. Is he going to be checked? Yes, he is. Sonic. Oh, the ding does take place. But the AK-47 is able to perforate Barton before he gets the kill. It's all on Taco again. There is that saying, God forgives, this man doesn't. Can he close it out on his own, Vince? No armor, no kit, 1 flashbang, and the AWP. But looking at his position here, yeah, this is uncomfortable. They're going to get the bomb down. And if he had a rifle and he had armor, Vince, I would have fancied his chances of potentially clutching it out. The smoke's going to be deployed, though. And if I'm Taco, I'm like, it's a hard decision to make. But that gun in his hands is worth a lot of money, which, unfortunately, GODSENT don't have. So they will have to try and play for overtime. And Taco is going to probably be dropping that AWP into the hands of Demao. And honestly, after seeing that ramp play, I wouldn't mind if Taco kept the AWP.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I suppose the downside is, and maybe this is a certain amount of respect that's coming across from Extra Salt, they haven't really hit ramp that often. It's mainly been outside, and these kind of main split pushes, it's been undoing GODSENT time after time and unlocking this defense. And so the other issue as well, you know, you want to see Taco go in for this, but he doesn't have the benefit of seeing the 2 players are this low. It's unconfirmed damage. A lot of that was just from the very beginning with a couple of HEs that were tossed outside. may have had an idea that 1 or 2 were low, but you can't really bank off that and go all in because, as you said, you need something to play with. Now, I thought when they pushed into Dumao outside, I thought this round was just going to fall into place, but what I didn't take into account is that OC is hitting some crazy form right now. AWP, AK, doesn't matter. He's getting the job done, and there's the answer to the question. Taco will not be wielding the AWP. He drops it straight across to Dumao.
Dumao's going to deliver. And it's going to be, it's going to be the fast upper hit. Yes, indeed it is. Molotov's going to be blooming. And now Lado's going to be pushing outside alongside Dumao. But I love how Mark is not showing anything. Instead, it's a parting gift. He tosses a nade straight into the hands, or rather his face of Dumao, chunking him down to 61 HP. Sonic already down. There was a bit of a posture towards that upper side. I really thought they're just going to be going for it, but no, it's all a ruse just to allow Sonic to make his way towards Secret, and Dumao's ready and waiting for him. It's going to be headshot angle though, and he's going to spot him out, decapitates him. That's a huge find coming in from Dumao. Now, I don't think they're aware of 2 players towards outside, but they had a window. Maki did at least get a kill, but he won't find anyone. They're immediately going to peel away to hold a much more safer angle as Taco is going to be facing a little bit of pressure, but Dumao has arrived to help his captain.
Yeah, these are some great rotations here, honestly. And this is one of the aspects that saw GODSENT get so much success on Ancient. It wasn't the most intricate or extravagant strats, but some fantastic mid-round calling. And you saw everywhere where GODSENT were about to get pushed in, you called it. They had 3 players watching outside. They get the frag, they pull back onto A. They get the intel, they're going to be pushing ramp. Instantly, Dumao comes in to help Taco, alleviates the pressure, allows them to divide and conquer the oncoming Extra Soul players. So really nicely done. But when you have such a massive deficit, Blair, it only takes 1 spark of brilliance from Extra Soul, and this entire map comes crumbling down.
Under precipice, Vince, they stand. Like you said, strong gust of wind and can all come tumbling down. And they know that fact. They know that they have 0 margin for error. It has to be flawless now. That's a great flashbang. That's a flawless flashbang. Dumao was just blinded for days, and JT, an easy pick for him. Now, Reel's hurt. Phelps knows where he is, but he's also paranoid there might be someone else nearby, and he could be walking into a crossfire. An early kill for Extra Salt. That's a danger man as well. Dumao, he's usually is such a nuisance in that secret position with the AWP, Vince, but a perfect read from Extra Salt. They take care of him. Not neutralized. They have a lot of options available to them. Great utility being deployed towards upper, but a hit is going to be coming in towards ramp, and it's going to be Taco. This time, he doesn't have an AWP to challenge the T's, and so he's going to be falling on back, immediately dropping down, but they're wasting no time, charging into Taco's waiting AK-47. The Molotov getting deployed as well as Phelps helps him out by finding JT. The lurk's been taken care of, but Taco will fall. A 3v3. They need to get the bomb done, but they still have a little bit of time to work with. Phelps, though, he is getting hunted down. The spacing is perfect, but he just lines them up, finds 2, and now it's a 1 versus 2 for Fang to keep them in, well, rather to clutch it out, but GODSENT, they might just have done enough.
Will be a post plant. Fang may die afterwards, but they don't peek him. They want to play together. Fang could clutch this. First frag goes his way, and there's the second. Back-to-back frags, and Extra Salt bounce right back in.